Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. Today we're looking at the 56 Ford F150. This is obviously the moonized version of this. Looks really cool. Obviously it's Hot Wheels' own take on this with some modifications such as that blow around the hood and the removal of the chrome front and rear bumpers, as well as some new interior seats. So let's give you some facts about this car. So this car came with a V8 which produced 167 horsepower, and this was the most powerful pickup truck that Ford made in history at the time. Obviously nowadays that is a really low horsepower figure, but back then that would have been quite the sporty pickup, if you will. Only 138,000 of these ever were created, which is quite a lot, but nowadays there's way less available now. Most of them have been scrapped or have rusted out and are in a state of disrepair. So really there's only probably a few thousand of these in pretty good condition. So it's quite the rare car now, and that causes it to have such a high value nowadays. When this was new, it only cost $1,580. Nowadays that is just below $18,000 in today's money, obviously. But if you want one today, so if you wanted to purchase one right now in a really good condition, you'd be having to pay over $30,000. So almost double the initial value of this car, which is quite crazy. But that is because there is so much demand for these cool old Ford pickups, pretty much for modifications, and lots of people drag race these types of things. So this is a really, really cool car that a lot of people love. It obviously had a version where there was an exposed bed. This one's got it covered up with obviously metal. Obviously those were the two trim variants that you could get. Anyways, let's get into the actual showcase of this car. Alright, so kicking off this review, this car has grey aerodisc wheels. I really do like these wheels. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it suits cars like this, as well as the 90 Quattro that they did this year as well. Really nice. Obviously this car is from the 2022 mainline, so it's quite difficult to find this car now on the pegs, but I will tell you that Hot Wheels, I believe this is like D-Case, is starting to show up in Smith's Toy Superstores here in the UK, so make sure you head your way down there if you're after this, because it might just be in your local one. Anyways, this car is done in a nice matte red. Really nice, interesting choice of colour, because obviously the standard version of this car would not come in a matte colour. Instead it would be a glossy red. That was the most popular colour. I think that was like maybe the Unreal colour. I'm not sure on that one though, but that's the colour that you see it most commonly in. This car also has the Moon Eyes livery, as you can see. That's really nicely done, and this casting is really good. Look, it portrays the arches on this car, which are obviously huge and really boxy, really, really well, as you can see there. As for, well actually let's do the side skirt first. So that side skirt there is a nice colour break there, and that is created using the black base plastic. Really cool, as you can see there. As for the tampo work on this car, we have this lovely Moon Eyes logo here, which is obviously outlined in white, and we also have this blackness which surrounds it, as well as a nice golden or yellow outline to that whole entire like box, I suppose. On the door we also have some tampo work, so we have the Hot Wheels Body Shop, El Segundo, Canada written there, and we have that continuation of the black and gold colour scheme, really nice. You can see the door is also cast into the metal casting, as well as the door handle, and the front windows on this car actually wound down. I really like that design from Hot Wheels, I think it looks great. I'm going to have to tilt the car a little bit, but you can see this car in real life has like a sunshade built into its actual metal, so it overhangs that front window. Sorry about the shakiness. Hang on, let me get back. There we go. And you can see that overlaps the window just slightly, and that is represented in the Hot Wheels casting as well. That's super, super cool to see. Really accurate to the real design. This car does not have any wing mirrors, but the real life car would have chrome and really thin wing mirrors, so it'd be really hard for Hot Wheels to portray that. Looking at the front bumper then, we do not have any tampos, but the front lights have been carved out, as well as the front grille, so you could add your own details if you so wished, using Sharpie or acrylic paint and all that type of stuff. This car also does not have a chrome front bumper like the standard version of the car. This is because this is Hot Wheels' take on the car, and this is a pretty modified car, as you can quite clearly see with that huge blower sticking out the hood. Speaking of the hood, we do have a little bit of tampo work. So we have that continuation of the black and gold colour scheme with two almost bullhorn looking stripes. Then you can see that lovely blower, which is created using the chrome interior plastic, real nice. That does mean that they do have to make the interior out of chrome, which looks kind of a bit funky, but obviously you've got to, the designers have to make do with what they have. You can also see there is a nice cutout in the actual metal casting itself on the hood so that this blower can stick out. Really nice looking, as you can see. This is not a bug catcher one, as you can see, it's more one of them oval ones. I'm not entirely sure what you call them. Speaking of the chrome interior, you can see the seats are not standard either. They are more of like a bucket racing seat. Obviously this is a heavily modified car and probably would be very much faster than the standard version. So obviously the Hot Wheels have removed those standard what would be like benches seats and replaced them with more modern racing seats. Moving along to this side of the car, it is the exact same as the previous, so I'm not going to bore you, but remember you can pause this video if you want to have a look at something in particular. Alright, now to the final section, the rear of the car. There is no tampo work here, and the rear lights have not been carved out anywhere, and that rear chrome bumper, once again, is not portrayed, so that means obviously all the license plate holder and stuff is not there, because this is obviously a modified car. But if you wanted to add your own rear lights, say on this panel right here, you could do so using acrylic paint or Sharpie or anything else that you might want to use. You could also add your own license plate if you so wished using sticker license plates. That's the most popular thing. It's like a permanent sticker type thing. I'm pretty sure maybe they use glue on the back of them. You could also see two exhausts, which are twin exhausts, have been portrayed on the back using the black base plastic as well. The rear doors have also been put into the metal casting, and you can see there are cutouts so that there is windows there, and the windows are created using see-through plastic. And they are actually windows. They are not tampos, and they are not just holes either. They are actually windows, which is nice to see from Hot Wheels. They took that little bit extra effort to do that. And that's really it. I don't know if you can see in the interior, but maybe if there, can you see there is nothing inside as like a trim on the doors? It is just bare metal. That is accurate to the real life thing. It would not have much of a trim there, and I think this is obviously going for like a stripped look on this car. I really like that, and it's just a nice little detail which I came across when I was looking at this car after I unboxed it today. Anyways, that is the showcase of this car. Now it's time for my review and opinions on it. Alright, so now it is time for my thoughts and opinions on this car, as well as my overall review score. I think this is a stunning casting. I think it's done perfectly. It really captures that 50s vibe that this car obviously had when it was made. It has those huge bulky arches and then wheels which are tucked right in there. They're obviously meant to be like that. Those front wheels are tucked so far in with them huge arches, and that is just an odd design that all 50s cars really went for, especially like Ford stuff. And the rear wheels are closer to the arches, but once again are tucked in, and it's a real nice design and look, and it's something that no cars nowadays ever go for. They always have the wheels right out to the arches, so it's a nice little change on this car, and I'm really quite a fan of it. So that leads me on to my score out of 10. What am I going to rate this car out of 10? I'm going to give this car a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's a solid, really nice one. And I don't think we can get much better of a recolor. I know a lot of people would probably prefer the black and yellow Moon Eyes, or just a yellow car for Moon Eyes. And lots of people don't collect these recolors of Moon Eyes, which are like in red usually. But I think this recolor looks way better than the original, and I'm not a huge Moon Eyes fan, so obviously that does not bother me that this car's not done in yellow, as like things like the Cool Combi this year has been done. But then they also did recolor that in grey, and I think that one looks nicer, but I think that one's less popular just because it's not in the classic Moon Eyes colours. Obviously this car does have those classic Moon Eyes colours on it, with the black and gold or yellow, but obviously the main colour of this car is red. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured to, as you watching this video matters a lot to me, and I do appreciate you watching right to the end. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss any of my new uploads. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye everyone.